Wow. All I can say is, wow, what a tough game. What a difficult game. And, credit Wofford. I think I was pretty clear to you all the other day how good they are. I think that really was apparent tonight because, we're a pretty good defensive team, and we could not stop them in the first half. I mean, they shot 75% from three. We were, 61 from the field. Just made some incredibly difficult, tough shots. If you make, like, we had one gamble where we gambled to go for a steal. I mean, any mistake that you make, anything they take advantage of. And I thought our defense to start the second half was how we got back in the game. They scored 6 points the first 7 minutes of the second half. And, our offense, we scored 41 points the first half and 57. I mean, it's pretty efficient to score 98 points on 49 shots. I thought Q really played hard defensively tonight. McGee is just an unbelievable player, and he had to earn every single point he scored tonight. Q was phenomenal defensively, and I thought Q did some great things manufacturing points for us at the foul line. Eric Holman had one of his best games of the year with 19 and 8 and 6 for 7, 3 for 4 from 3, 4 for 4 from the line, 4 blocks, very efficient. I thought Robert Woodard's minutes were really important for us today. Robert Woodard gave us a big lift off the bench, and you can see, and it's just really gratifying to be able to beat a team that's this good. And I was really pleased with our fans the way they got into the game there in the second half because we needed the lift. I thought Lamar really, Lamar got us going to start the second half offensively. Made plays, got the steal, got fouled. He's shooting the ball well. If you look at his three-point shooting and as a team the last 5 games, someone run those numbers. What are we shooting from three the last 5 or 6 games? It's over 50%, is it?
Yeah,
How much?
54.
In the last 5?
Last 3, and then tonight 54 again.
Yeah, but I'm just going the last 5. I mean, it's that's pretty good. And again, it's a credit to our players for all the work they put in, the confidence they have in one another, the extra passes they're making. Nick, what really got us going in the first half was some big threes, and I'm glad that his eye seems to be okay because I was pretty worried about that. But again, an overall great win for us against a team that is second highest in terms of the net ranking of anybody we've played that we've beaten. Arizona State's higher, Cincinnati's higher, and then it's Wofford. And you can see how they could beat good teams. I mean high major teams.
We'll start with Brett over here to coach's right.
You mentioned Lamar got you going in the second half. The ball is in his hands so often. How good is he at making the right decision with the ball?
I thought he made great decisions to start the game. The first play of the game, Abdul got fouled, made one, missed one. He was making great decisions the whole night. The only one that he made bad was that turnover late when they were pressing, and he tried to pass ahead instead of just holding on to it. He got an offensive foul for one of his turnovers on the screen, so it's not, and we had a number of those. But again, credit our opponent tonight. They're really, really tough. That big kid inside Jackson is phenomenal. I think this guy is one of the best coaches in the country. One of the best in the country, period. Guy is unbelievable. They play good defense. We were fortunate tonight. We were really fortunate, and I'm proud of our guys. The way down 9, we came right out and battled back and whittled away to get it to where we could get the lead.
We'll go ahead and keep it in the front and get it to Joel.
And I know you always talk about how everything starts with your defense, but you guys win a defensive battle against Cincinnati a little bit, and then come out tonight, a game that you really needed, 90-plus points pretty much. What's it say about this team that they're able to win games in different ways like this?
Yeah, ultimately, this was a trap game. I really was telling you guys, who scheduled this game? Well, I did. So I'd have felt awful if we had lost this because it really looks stupid to play a team this good right after an emotional game that you knew was going to be emotional. We had the phenomenal crowd the other night, and tonight. I appreciate all our fans that came on a Wednesday night to be here to support us in person because that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. But we did find a different way to win. But our defense the second half is what bought us the opportunity to get stops and then score. I mean, 57 points and a half. I don't know if we ever scored 57 since I've been here and a half, but that's a lot of points.
The last bucket to get the lead to 11, you mentioned the net ranking. Is that the reason for
Yes, and I apologized to their coach right away, but I was yelling at Q. I mean, I've explained to him we got to win by 10. We were up 9, and I yelled at him to shoot the ball. It was like he had an open layup and he's pulling it out. And I don't like it. I mean, they changed it this year, but we want when they go look at the numbers, we want to make sure we've done everything that we can in our power to impress the committee so we can get in the NCAA tournament at the end of the year.
We'll go ahead and keep it on the front. Give it to Tyler here, dead center.
Mike Young called Q the straw that stirs the drink. As good as Lamar was tonight, Q finds a way to score a lot of points while only making 2 field goals. And you mentioned his defense. Is Q the straw that stirs the drink?
That's a nice compliment by Coach, and I think we are very. You could see Q got really exhausted playing so hard defensively. I mean, that guy, and yet he manufactures points by getting fouled, getting to the line. I mean, I think he's been to the line 41 or 45 times going into the game, and he got 15 times tonight. I love that. Great players get to the line. Karl Malone, guys that are scorers, Michael Jordan's, LeBron, Kobe, to get to the line. And to get there 36 times and make 78% of them was big for us. And Q at 14 for 15, that's pretty good. The one he missed, he didn't leave his hand up.
We'll go back over here to the right.
Eric is always involved offensively, but today there were more points on the box score to show for it. Why do you think that was the case?
I just think that, he shot the ball well and was patient and let it come to him. And, Eric's a really good player. And it took every one of those. He made some big shots. He made a big 3 early in the second half at the top of the key to cut it to like 9. I think they went up 12. Weren't we down 12 in the second half, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, down 12. So that's a pretty good fight to come back down 12 against a team this good.
Any little questions? Let's go ahead.
We won't be playing them again. I want to repeat that on purpose.
We'll go ahead and get it to Logan over here on Coach's left.
You only went 3 deep on the bench, but you got 27 points out of those guys. Just talk about their efforts tonight.
Yeah, I thought Reggie Perry gave us really important minutes. I thought Woodard did, as I had mentioned. It's a really hard game to defend in. It's kind of, and obviously Tyson's there every night. Tyson's like, he's like a starter. I mean, he could, he gives us important minutes. And he can shoot, he can score. He made some big threes to help us tonight. One from that left wing, and actually he should have had a little quicker. I think Reggie had it in the corner, and he bounced it once instead of just moving it, and he would have had 2 in a row. Do you remember the play? He had just made one in the last possession, and that's what we're doing so good is moving the ball, finding the open guy, and it starts with Lamar. Lamar, is really playing at a high level, and defensively as well. I mean, he's playing really hard. Proud of him.
You said you're not going to play this team again, but this is a team, watching Wofford, I thought they could easily be an NCAA tournament team, and the possibility would exist. Just for you in this game tonight, did it ever have like a postseason feel with the way it was back and forth? It was pretty intense.
I told our guys flat out they're going to be in the tournament. I've coached at Northern Arizona, which is a 1-bid league, same as they're in. They're in a really good league. But I'll be stunned if they're not in the tournament at the end of the year. That's how good I think they are, and senior laden and tough, and one of the premier players in the country, McGee, and the big guy inside. I mean, he scores on everybody. He scores on Kansas, scores on Oklahoma, scores on Carolina. I mean, he's good.
Go ahead, Brett.
They're a problem. Number 10's a problem. Hoover. I mean, it doesn't take long to get his shot off. So I think they're really good, really, really good team. That's a big win for us. And unless you were here tonight or you really know basketball, you wouldn't Wofford. I mean, they've been in the tournament 4 times since 2010, I think. I mean, they're a tournament program. The guy who owns the Panthers, I think, Richardson, he gave him $60 million. They got a beautiful facility. I told Coach, he actually came up to my office after they were in the shoot-around and talked fly fishing with me. And I'm taking him fly fishing. I want to talk to him. I want to learn from him. That guy's a heck of a coach. So we'll do some fly fishing out in Wyoming, hopefully this summer together. he goes to Cuba once a year with some guys, and he was telling about the fishing for bonefish and permit down there. It's just unbelievable. I want to go to Cuba with him and get on that plane.
I wasn't expecting that.
I love to fly fish.
I know
Fly
I know
fishing
that
is
now.
and this guy loves to fly fish. So we will be fly fishing together in the future. I guarantee it.
This 5-game stretch of the schedule was probably the most difficult in the non-con, and to win all 5 in impressive fashion. What do you think the team proved about itself in this stretch?
Well, I mean, we're a good team, and we're continuing to improve, and we've got to show up and play. I mean, Wright State, I chose them because they're picked to win their league. They got the preseason player of the year on their team. I mean, you know, BYU, we're playing against a bunch of guys that are 25, you know, married with kids. You know, I mean, and their best player just became eligible about 3 games ago. So, you know, our last 2 games are tough too. I mean, you know, it's like we're trying to play a very difficult schedule that prepares us for the league, and also there can be no complaints when it comes time to pick the field of 68, and hopefully we keep winning.